Alright YouTube, what is going on? It is ConflctNerd Callum here today, bringing you another episode of Another Brick in the Mall. Today we're on to episode number... Where are we at? We're on episode number 10 now, and this was originally going to be the end of the series. However, we're going to go ahead and talk about that in this episode. So I'm going to zoom out, and you're going to be like, what the fuck? And totally understandable. So, down here, a little bit different, over here a little bit different, and in here a little bit different. So we'll start off with the changes to the mall here. So first of all, I evidently still need more janitors on top of the current janitors I've got. That's just not working out too great, unfortunately. Then, we have gone ahead and... So, when we built the liquor store in the last episode, it was extremely busy, and I could definitely see us going ahead and selling more liquor, so that's what I've basically gone ahead and done. And I've basically moved there used to be the appliances store with the fridges and all that sort of stuff. That used to be up the top here. It's now moved over to here because it's less in demand, and it actually fits in here quite nicely, so it's moved over to here, and it is doing relatively well, as you can see. It's now also 24/7 by the way, which, I mean, this is why it's doing awful because it's in the middle of the night, but the liquor store needed to be larger, so I thought, you know what, let's go ahead and do a unit which backs onto each other, and let's just modify the indent a little bit. So there's still an indent here, but it's not as large, and eventually the same thing will happen over at this side, but we're going to be changing this whole side anyway very shortly. So that's one of the biggest changes, and the reason is because some items, thank you to a person who commented by the way, that some items actually have 3 levels of demand. So we jump in here to needs, we can see that movies doesn't really have any demand, it just has like a bar, which again we'll talk about the movies in a second, but liquor is one of the best examples here. So as you can see, tier 1 we are close to the demand, tier 2 we're not, and then tier 3 we've not even started with that at all. So that is something which we need to go ahead and bridge that gap and definitely sell a lot more of. Then there's lots of other things like wine. There's so much we need to go ahead and do in the series, and right now I've scheduled in 3 more episodes, so I'm going to run to at least episode 12. Then again I'll go ahead and ask the question, do people want to see more of this? And again, it depends on views and like ratings. Like ratings is my biggest indicator. If likes are down, then I will probably go ahead and stop the series. So that's a strong hint. If you want this to continue, go ahead and hit that like button. So with that done, we are going to go ahead and start extending the mall. Now the reason is because there's lots of different shops that I want to go ahead and build which I don't have room for. This mall's technically full now in its current capacity, so we're going to need to go ahead and extend it, and that's why I've removed a lot of the car parks at the sides. I added in a lot more car parks at the bottom, so I think we're doing fine on parking spaces for now, but we need to go ahead and extend the mall. Another 2 things before we go ahead and do that though, you can see the cinema's changed a lot. So basically, instead of having the lobby area off at the side which we previously had, it's now basically in corridors in the middle, and as you can see we've now got 5 screens, so we've maxed out this corner which is good, and there's also the nice bathroom which has got a little bit smaller. So 5 screens all in all, which is pretty nice to see. Then on top of that, we've also gone ahead and extended the bowling alley. The bowling alley, we've only filled in this bit here, we moved some of the lanes in a bit, and then we've modified the inside a little bit, so it's not that a drastic change if I'm totally honest, but we just have an extra 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 lanes in total, so just a little bit better to go ahead and meet the needs there. The needs for the bowling and movies are pretty much satisfied, which is good, and I'm quite happy about that. Right, so let's go ahead and actually get this ultra build started, I guess, because we're going to need to hire more builders. We need to go ahead and first of all start to remove all of this stuff, and then we're going to remove this road after that, and this is where the big change is going to start. So the first thing I'm going to do this episode is jump into manage. We're going to go to maintenance center number 9, because we need to hire evidently more janitors, but also we need to go ahead and hire many more builders as well, because what we're going to about to be doing is going to require a lot of builders. So that is me going ahead and hired a lot more staff, so there's a lot more janitors. I think we've added in an extra like 12 or 16, 14 janitors. Then we've also added in 3 or 4 more builders. As you can see, there's a 73-year-old builder who I'm giving the overnight shift from 10 o'clock at night right through to 6 AM, so good for her. As we can see, the mall's looking a little bit tidier, but it's still, I mean, it's going to be difficult to have it tidy consistently, but it does need to be better than it is right now. So with that said, let's go ahead and delete this road because now we can, and then let's go ahead and get our extension worked out. Now you would have seen as well externally I've gone ahead and done a lot with roads, as you can see, and a lot of this is just to do with major traffic issues that we're having. I've also gone ahead and built lots of alternative routes. i.e. 3 roads here. The one in the middle just brings you straight up to this junction here, so you don't have to bother about other side junctions cutting in. Then the roads to the left and the right, they interact with the car parks. So it means that there is a little bit of a split in traffic, and it means that not everyone's using the one road. And I've tried to go for this system pretty much throughout the whole map now. There's some limitations, for example with buildings, but aside from that, I think it's working out better. Right, so that's now getting demolished. We're going to go ahead and speed things up here because we're going to start to build some foundations. So I've got this whole lot here. Right now this was originally 100 by 100, but we're not going to go ahead and build 100 by 100. I don't know what we're going to build. It's going to be 100 in height, but I think it's only probably going to be about 60 in width. It's not actually going to be 100, just because there is not enough room, and I could go ahead and move this road if I wanted to, but do we really need another 100 by 100? I don't think we do. We just do need a little bit extra room. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go ahead and drag this up and see what we can do. So that is should be, if we go up there, I don't know, that should work there. So that is 66 wide. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut you back to 60, and then that's 100. So there we go. So that is slowly but surely going to start to get built now, and it's going to take quite a while. This is going to allow me to have so many more shops, though, which I am looking forward to in the future, but as we can see, the building process is going to take an extremely long time. It also means that we're going to have to modify a lot of stuff as well, and that's something that I'm not really looking too forward to. We've also still got some indents as well around here, which we're going to slowly but surely sort out over time. It's something that I'm just not too happy about. The good thing is though, I've gone ahead and left a larger gap here, and the reason for this is because we can have so much delivery stuff down here, and we don't have to do what we've done over here now. Have like a lot of customer car parking taken up by deliveries and staff car parking. This is something which I have implemented though, and I think does the world of good. Right, so that extension is slowly but surely going to start to get built. What we need to do is actually continue on with where we're currently at. So right now, just looking at some of the statistics, we're currently in a profit of about 51,000 is the maximum profit we've received. However, I'm still wanting to get to that 100,000 mark before the end of the series. Parking, we're up to 1,500 all in all, so we're still got an extra 400 spaces, which we can easily go ahead and fill. So jumping back here into needs, this is really what we're going to be playing off. So the next thing is fast food. Then on top of that, we are in general doing quite well. I think the liquor store has been a good success. The next thing I want to do is I want to go ahead and have a fresh store, which is going to be your fresh meats. I want to have a butcher store. Then on top of that, I want to have a vegetable store, more like a greengrocer sort of thing, where you get all your fresh vegetables and your fresh fruits. And then maybe also have a dairy store as well. We could have ice cream, we could have milk, and maybe one or two other items as well. So lots of opportunities for different shops to come, but we just need to wait for all this to get built. While that waits, we're going to go ahead and deal with the fast food issue right now, because as we can see in the mall throughout the night, it's not actually too bad, but there's a lot of pressure being put on this, which I'm totally fine with, but it's during the day that really all the pressure comes. So we're going to go ahead and make sure that, I think we're going to open up our 21 restaurant down here, the restaurant which is not really in use. So let's go ahead and actually do that. So let's jump into 21. Actually, let's very quickly go ahead and extend its boundaries. So fast food restaurant, we want to go ahead and grab this. Then we're going to extend this out here just a little bit, and then the same at this side here. Then we're going to go ahead and extend up there so we can get these tables in it for restaurant 21. Then what we're going to do is go ahead and expand right down the bottom there, add in that line there, so it's now also got access to the bottom tables. Unfortunately, that was not what I wanted to do, so let's go ahead and redo that, and as we can see, it all works out nicely there. Now, one thing I have realised is that we've actually got a little bit of extra room in with these restaurants, so let me go ahead and grab objects. We can fit in a few more tables. That's really the thing that I've realised here. So if we go ahead and add in 3 more tables there, and then 3 more tables there, then we can leave a gap. We can probably get another table in there and in there, to be fair. So this is me just maximising table space without affecting the queues, and we can pretty much do the same up here as well, actually. So adding 2 tables there. As we can see, this part of the mall is extremely busy, but that's a good thing. And it also, I think we're starting to see more people after foods. We can see here that all of the checkouts are in operation, and we can see large queues building up as well. People are passing through this area, but passing through the food court, that's something you often land up doing in a food mall anyway. Right, so with that modification, you can already see the people using the tables, which is a good thing, though I don't see anybody using the old tables, so I'm hoping the game's not glitched out or anything. Jumping back in here to food restaurant number 1, let's go ahead and get things started. So I want to make this one, I don't know if we will make this one 24/7, this top one is now 24/7. I'm just trying to remember what I did off camera and what I did in the last episode. I spent probably about an hour off camera going ahead and doing stuff. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and hire myself a bunch of cooks, a bunch of cashiers, and then I might need one stock clerk, but I'm hoping that the one stock clerk can run both kitchens because you're not really needed that often, you're just bouncing from side to side, so I don't really think you're going to be needed that often, but we'll go ahead and see how things go. I could also see us needing a third cook in here because we definitely need a third cook in here, so let's very quickly go ahead and actually do that. Then I'll go ahead and hire the other staff for our other fast food restaurants. So after quite a while of going ahead and playing around with things, we are now into operation, as you can see in our other restaurant. Unfortunately though, there's no food really prepared, but things are underway, so that's hopefully going to take a little bit of stress off this top one here and help go ahead and meet the food demand. This bottom restaurant is only in operation right now, from I believe 6 till 10, so not 24/7 right now, but like, there was no real need for this one to be 24/7, and it is 24/7, but when I look at it during the night, then it's not really that busy, so I don't think it's really justified yet. We'll go ahead and see how the needs does. It looks like we've already gone up a little bit, but we can go ahead and definitely continue to do better there. Right, so this is me going ahead and did quite a large modification over here, as you can see. So this is all now built. We need to go ahead and start to tweak with it and just make this look a lot better. So the first thing we need to do is we're actually going to build roads first of all and do all our road stuff before we go ahead and do anything else. So let me go ahead and jump in here, and we're looking for roadworks. So I want to go ahead and start off with having garbage pickups right here in the middle. That's probably the most, it's probably the best thing to go ahead and do. So just have 1, 2, and then 1, 2, and then what we're going to do is we're going to stick a bus stop in the middle, which yes, I understand is kind of maybe a bit disgusting, but it's going to happen. Then we're just going to have another bus stop off the doors there and there. And then with that done, all we're going to do is we're literally just going to have loading zones right along here, just to go ahead and allow for deliveries to be brought into a new part of the mall. Right, so with that done, we're going to go ahead and start to remove some foundations, because I'm not really too happy with a lot of this. So we're going to go ahead and remove that wall there, and we're going to go ahead and do something similar there. Then what we're going to do is I'm going to have to get rid of those 2 recycling bits anyway here, I think, or I'm going to have to do something a little bit different. I want to move it 1 over, then we're going to remove this wall here, and I'm going to move it backwards 1 as well, so we can go ahead and speed all this up. Then what we're going to do is we're actually going to go ahead and I'm going to have to rebuild a lot of foundations, so I'm going to go ahead and assign this whole area here to go ahead and get built. That's really what I'm after. So unfortunately this game has a rule which you must build at least a minimum of a 4x4 area, so that's absolute bollocks. So I had to go ahead and delete a lot more, so I can go ahead and add in the tiniest of changes, which is a little bit frustrating, but evidently people are wanting doors for a lot of this area, which we need to go ahead and supply. So what I need to do is go ahead and do that so people can get access to the mall a little bit better. It's because originally they would have come through these doors here, but these are really no longer in operation. They're more just internal doors now, so it sort of just defeats the purpose a little bit. How are we going to divide this area up? I'm not really at all sure how we're going to divide it up, to be honest. I've not really come to that conclusion yet, so I guess we're just going to go ahead and build and see where we get to. So what I want to do is remove walls and objects and just remove all that there, and then again go ahead and do something similar here. Now this area in the middle here, I don't really know what's going to happen to it. For now it's going to stay green, but I don't really know what its future holds long term, that's for sure. I have a rough idea. I might go ahead and extend the shop a little bit more and then just leave this green area in the middle, but at the same time it's not symmetrical, so it's going to be a strange one, that's for sure. Right, let me go ahead and fill in these floor tiles because they're pissing me off there, and with that done we can go ahead and what I'm thinking about doing is just having like these shops in the middle. Oh, that would work. Now that's a good idea. Right, I've got an idea of what I'm gonna do. So what we're gonna do is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're gonna make this an extremely large corridor here, like this, and then we're gonna have doors at the bottom, and then yeah, that works out nicely. Really like this idea. So with that done, let's jump back into objects and let's go ahead and put a door there, and I've done this wrong here. A door there and a door there. I think I just need to go ahead and extend it by 1, which is easy enough to do. As we can see, so many people are coming along the top here and just sort of walking past where this door will be, so there's really a need for a door up here. And as we can see, there's already a shit ton of people using it down the bottom here as well. So that is that, and that is that installed. So as we can see, they're already getting quite a bit of use. So is our delivery stands as well, which is good. Right, so the next thing I need to go ahead and do is, or I want to do is, I'm actually going to add in even more delivery stands, I think, and we're going to do them down the bottom here. So if I jump in and I go for roadworks, and I go for loading zones, I just want to add in a shit ton of loading zones down the bottom here. Really, that's as simple as, so that'll go ahead and allow for me. It's not too far away from the main shopping mall itself. As we can see here, this is the middle of the night and this place is in operation and it's doing fine, so it's definitely dealing with the demands which we're currently having right now. Right, aside from that, let's go ahead and get back to what we're doing. So you can roughly see what we're aiming to build here. So I can start to go ahead and build walls, and I can start to go ahead and basically just define shops. So we'll define this area here, which can definitely be split into 2 or 3 shops. Same with this one here at the top, and same with the one at the bottom really. And then we'll go ahead and get started with some building. So I think we're all good there. Let's go ahead and get rid of that whole wall there before it gets built, and let's go ahead and build you down there. Now, I have a little bit of a, it's not an issue, but I'm going to have to go ahead and build you in there and then build you along. Actually, I don't want walls there though. It's not walls I'm after, it's foundations I'm needing in this area. So let me go ahead and grab foundations and let me go ahead and, but again, it's that minimum thing. It's just so unnecessary. So with that modification changed, I can go ahead and build in that area there. So you can probably see what I'm trying to go for here. I've basically extended the corridor, but I'm not really extending the corridor. What I'm really going to be doing is actually just extending the shops. So as we can see, that addition is done there. Then I'll use that point. So the shops are going to be extended, not by too much, mind you, but they are going to be extended. Then what we're going to have in here is we're going to have another toilet because we've got one there. And it makes sense. I think this mall could do with a few more toilets. Toilets aren't doing too bad, but they maybe could do with a little bit larger capacity, and that's something which I'm considering. We can extend this one back as much as we possibly can, but this one not really, just because it runs into the liquor store. I think we're struggling for deliveries here as well. We're literally getting no deliveries, which is not good. And that's having a knock-on effect, not just in here, here's struggling for deliveries. And I think it's due to the traffic issue, really. That's honestly what I'm putting it down to. There's plenty of places for trucks to park up, but we can see that things are just absolutely chaotic here. Right, so with that addition, we want to go ahead and extend this shop a little bit as well. And that will, I'll work on that eventually. It's going to take a while for all this to happen though. Jump back in and continue with my floor tiles. Floor tiles is just really, really good, and I don't know if it's just me and my OCD, but it's definitely something that I'm requiring. So let me go ahead and build a wall along there as well, and let's go ahead and extend foundations, and let's build foundations back through there also, and we can also go ahead and knock down at that current wall there, and then we can go ahead and add in some objects, add in some doors to create this new restroom here. How is this going to work? Well, what we're going to do really at the bottom here is we're not going to really do too much. We're going to go ahead and I think grab walls. We're going to build them over here. So the storage rooms are going to get a little bit larger. Again, we're really not getting many deliveries in here though, which is not good either. So this is going to cause me quite a lot of problems going forward. So let me go ahead and do that. Then I want to go ahead and remove that door there. I then want to go ahead and remove that wall there, and then that should be good. And then do something similar here. So remove you there and remove you. Then let's go ahead and grab objects, doors, and let's go ahead and add in a door there, and that should be good, and same there, adding a door there. And then finally back into walls, fill your gap there and fill your gap there, and then we're pretty much good to go. I do need to go ahead and actually demolish all of that there, and then all of that there. Deliveries are so scarce right now, and I really don't understand. I think we're going to have to add in more bus stops, and that's the next thing that I'll do on my agenda. We will do that momentarily though. What I'm going to go ahead and do now though is I've extended everything here, but I need to actually extend the assigned areas. So let me go ahead and jump into storage, and we can go ahead and extend this by quite a bit there. And same with this here. We're now starting to get deliveries again, which is good, hence why it's gone down my priority list a little bit. So the store's only being extended by, what, 9 tiles all in all, so really not a lot, but it could go ahead and make a difference with sales and also storage as well. Something with storage is just, it's not quite right, that's for sure. Anyway, back into objects up here, we're going to go ahead and place in another table, so we're really not getting a lot in here at all. Then we're going to go ahead and place in 3 more pallets in here. We need to go ahead and jump into floor tiles. We need to go ahead and grab and extend our storage room floor tile system, which is quite basic, just a little bit of a darker grey. And then our shops, we've got a green floor going in here, which works out quite nicely. So with that done, all we need to do is actually go ahead and just assign more items onto here. So right now I've got a pattern, so it is looks like it's is it a washing machine? I think it's a washing machine. So we're going back to dryer, then we're going back to drying machine, then it's fridge, I believe. I'm not 100% sure if that pattern is now correct, but that modification is made, which is good. And I think what I'm actually going to do is I don't think I really need to with the bathroom actually, so let's go ahead and fill this bathroom in right now. Then let's jump back through to objects. Now, let's go ahead and add in some toilets. So toilet cubicles again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is not a lot, let's be honest, it's really not a lot. Then we're going to go ahead and add in sinks at the bottom, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So right now, this is an extremely small toilet, but over time I think we might go ahead and extend it just because we can work backwards, no problem at all. So let's go ahead and grab ourselves a restroom here, and let's go ahead and assign this area a restroom. So that is restroom number 35. All in all, I believe it is our 6th or 7th restroom now, because we added in more into our restaurant here, as you can see, and things are doing not too bad in the restaurant. I don't know why, this is maybe a glitch, but for some reason people are, first of all, two of you guys are on top of each other here, which I don't know why. You're at work, but you're not really doing much, which is not good. So I might go ahead and manage and fire you, just because you don't really seem to be doing too much. Then there is other people which you can go ahead and use, but everyone seems to be using the same queues, which that's very strange as well, which I'm not liking either. So odd one, that one really is, but we'll go ahead and leave it for now. Right, so to go ahead and help deal with the influx of people, I think we need to go ahead and just add in more bus stops, and that will go ahead and hopefully take a little bit of traffic off of our roads. So if I jump back in here to roadworks and then bus stops, let's go ahead and start adding in a few of these around the place. So there's multiple bus stops around here, which is good. Let's add another one there. There's lots all over the place. We're going to start to add them in near the car parks as well, actually, just so people can come down to the car parks if they want to, that is. And then we'll go ahead and do the same right through here. I don't know if these will get much use, but the good thing is I don't actually have to assign the buses, so the buses automatically make their way around here, so placing any amount of bus stops down should hopefully go ahead and make a difference. So that's me gone ahead and did a lot of building, which is great, but we need to go ahead and keep up this momentum now. So the next thing I need to do is actually just fill in this here. I'm just going to go ahead and fill it in with some laptop computers, I think, so that'll work out fine. That shop in general is actually doing quite well. I mean, I'm pretty happy with everything overall. If I go ahead and delete all these issues, then we see most of them come fleeing back really quickly, but in general I think we're quite on top of things. So what I'm now going to go ahead and do is start to build some more individual shops. So let me jump in here to walls and let's see how we're going to do this. So I want to maybe have like a storage corridor coming up the middle here and all the storage rooms coming off that. So what I'm thinking to do is go ahead and have a shop in here. And then what we'll do is we'll have, let me work this out, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 22 all in all, so the midpoint is 11 and 12, so the midpoint is here, which is fine. So let me go ahead and do 1, 2, 3 up, which works out nicely, and then 1, 2, 3 there. So this will be the storage room for the shop here, which is fine. Then what we'll do is we'll go ahead and, if you're middle, then we'll have the corridor, which is going to come up the middle, come right up here. Might make this outdoors actually, we'll just have to see how things go. Then what we'll do is we'll add in storage rooms in here, and then in here. That's just a starting point. I can go ahead and make them bigger if I need to. And then we'll have 3 shops all in all here, which works out nicely. So let me go ahead and remove, actually I do want to keep that wall, let's just go ahead and remove that there and that there. So that works out nicely, and we can go ahead and start to build these 3 shops. So let me go ahead and start off by building doors, because that's the first thing we're probably going to go ahead and need. And we can go ahead and put these in multiple locations. Basically just trying to have them at near enough every entry point, to have doors there, and then we'll eventually have ones in the middle. Then let's go ahead and add in some storage doors, like so. Let's add in a staff entrance there, staff entrance there, staff entrance there. Then on top of that, let's have some ones into the individual shop here as well. Once they finish off this little bit of a build, which there we go. So that is that now done already, which as you can see, it looks not too bad under the circumstances. So with all of that done now, me going ahead and adding in my floor tiles, keeping up with my consistency, we can go ahead and actually start to build some shops in here. So the first thing I think we're going to do is go ahead and look in here. And I'm wanting to build, I think it's going to be a butchery. So it's going to be your fresh, well, it's not necessarily just a butcher, but it's going to be your stuff which you get at like counters in a shop, for example, like your fish, your meats, and that sort of stuff. Maybe a deli as well. I don't think this game really has some of those stuff like a deli, but that's really the kind of shop that I'm going to be going for. So let me jump in here to objects, and let's go ahead and build checkouts first of all. So checkouts are probably our most important thing in this shop all in all. So what we're going to do is have 1, 2, 3, 4. We're only going to be able to get 4 in here actually, which isn't good, and we can add some more in at the top as well. It's just we're not going to have a very large supply in the middle of the shop. That's really the bottom line, so don't really know how this is going to go, but we'll have to see how, yeah, this could be, as long as we're getting stocked very consistently though, then things actually might not be that bad. This will just be a bit of a trial and error, I guess you could say. So with that, we need to go ahead and grab ourselves some fridges, which fridges have changed and I wasn't really recognising the symbols. So let's go ahead and start to add them in. So 1, 2, 3, 4, we can get in a row there, which works out fine. And then how many rows can we get in? We can get in a fair amount actually. But at the same time, I don't know, I'm a little bit unsure if this is going to work. I think I'm going to have to go ahead and extend the store. Right, ladies and gentlemen, so this is what I've gone for. It's not extending it by too much, but this is, we're going to be able to have a lot larger food capacity, that's for sure. So let me go ahead and work out how we're going to do this. So we're going to have you there. Then what we're going to do is we're basically having these checkouts sort of just working off each other. And as you can see, they sort of interlock with each other, which this is going to work out really, really well. So the queues are going to be going against each other, which is something different and I've not really done before. And then that is going to allow for 8 checkouts to be in operation and have good sized queues, which is a good thing, and then we can get a shit ton of fridges in the middle because we don't really need to go ahead and worry too much about the customers overlapping into this area, which is good. So with that said, let's go ahead and redesign or replace these fridges. So this is the layout which I've gone with, and as you can see, it is, I think it's much better. We can fit in overall, it looks like 25 fridges in there, which is a decent amount, 8 checkouts as well, so this should work out really, really well. So with this is going to be very similar to the liquor store. The products aren't the same, but it's going to operate very much the same. So let's go ahead and add in our storage room here, which isn't the largest, but we also have the corridor as well, which we can go ahead and definitely make use of. Then let's go ahead and add in the store parameters, which, again, the store's kind of a weird shape. I've not really got many stores which are just like traditional boxes and then the storage room off to the side. We've got store 7, which is that case, but store 7 is just struggling in general, and I do definitely want to go ahead and break that up long term. That is the plan. Now we're starting to build the individual stores though. We're going to be getting closer to that stage anyway, which is good. So with that said, I think I need to add in another stock clerk into store 32. So let me just, I know I shouldn't be doing this right now, but I definitely think we do need to go ahead and do this. So let's grab you, and let's stick you on and start you at 6 AM in the morning. Then another stock clerk, you're going to start at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and then finally, guess what? Who's a good stock clerk? Give me a good stock clerk. You'll do. What's your name? Dean Boyd. Welcome, Mr. Boyd. We can go ahead and add that in there. So that is 3 more throughout the day, and, well, 3 throughout the day and 1 at night. So that should hopefully go ahead, because half the shop is literally empty. There's no of something. We're missing, it looks like, dishwashers. I think we've got 1 dishwasher on display, which really isn't that good at all. We need deliveries coming in at a faster rate, though. That's a real problem, but plenty of parking for deliveries now. They just need to arrive much faster in here at our large grand mall. Right, so with all that done, we've gone ahead and made the store. I just need to go ahead and put the items on the shelves. So the items that we're going to be having here is... Oh, this is interesting. I think I just literally want to do fresh meat and fresh fish. But we might as well go ahead and do frozen pizzas and frozen vegetables as well. I think that would make sense. But I'm just going to go ahead and look at needs here and see what we really need to go ahead and do. So, food. This is the biggest thing. So as you can see here, we have got an extremely large demand for food, and we're nowhere near the individual tiers. So I'm thinking fresh meat and fresh fish. I think used to, because you're so high in demand and we're nowhere near any of the tiers, I think we can just do a shop just for used to, and that's what I'm going to start off with at least. So that's me gone ahead and filled out basically one row fresh meats, then the next row fresh fish, fresh meat, and then fresh fish. I'm leaving some of these empty for the time being just because I want to see if this is going to fill the demand, or I can split it and bring in more frozen items, or if I need to go ahead and make the store larger. That's something which I'm a little bit concerned about. Right, so jumping back in here to manage, I believe this is store 37. So we're going to start off this shop being a 6 till 10 shop again, I think, because that's the best thing to do. What we're going to do is we're going to start off by hiring some stock clerks. So again, it's just awful. Literally, the pool of people is awful. So we'll go ahead and hire you. Stock clerks is the thing which I would always recommend if you're new to this game, hiring in first, so they can go ahead and start to stock the shelves. Then you can get the cashiers in after that. So what we'll do is I think we'll have 2 stock clerks on each shift. Actually, I'll make it 3 because I can see that there's going to be a lot of reshelf stacking required in this, quite a bit actually. So we'll go ahead and you'll have to do, unfortunately. That's us at 3 throughout the whole of the day in the shop. Your hours are set, so all we need to do is go ahead and add in cashiers now, and we'll hopefully start to get some deliveries shortly as well. Right, so let me go ahead, and we're looking to hire cashiers, and again, it's just absolutely awful. You know what I mean? It's absolutely diabolical. I need to go ahead and there needs to be like a dismiss button to go ahead and remove people who you don't want to hire, because if you don't hire them, they just stay here, and that's why I've just in general got a pretty bad roster. So we'll go ahead and take you. We'll go ahead and take you, but I'm actually going to fire you straight away because there's no point in having you. Let's go ahead and hire. Again, you're the same. I'm just trying to get shite people off the roster, really. But I'm really not getting replaced with many good people, if you understand what I'm saying. So it's just a difficult one, that's the real thing. Right, so we've got 2 cashiers in there. Then next stop, we need to go ahead and... yeah, I'm a little spoilt for choice, I know. So I'm going to go ahead and just do the rest of this off camera. So the final thing I need to go ahead and do is actually assign this a storage room, and now the shop is into operation. So as of 6 AM tomorrow, this shop will get to work. What I might do is I actually might have a stock clerk which works overnight to go ahead and stock up the shelves. I think that would be quite a good idea to go ahead and do. So we'll start you at when the shop closes at whatever, 10 o'clock at night, and then you can go ahead and stock the shelves. The reason is because you should actually be on your way to work now, so we can go ahead and get the shelves stacked before the customers come in the morning. But again, I'm a little bit unsure on that fact. Right, the next thing we're going to do is, while we wait on this, we're going to go ahead and build some more parking. So this is going to be this parking area here. I really can't see us extending this grand mall again. We might have some more outer lying shops, and really if we need to, we could go ahead and demolish this if we had to, but I just can't see us going ahead and moving into this area. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead, we'll actually start off up the top here. We're going to go ahead and, as we can see, the buses are getting used there, which is good. We're going to add in an extra road in here, and you're going to jump into there. We have a super long road which is going to come right along the top here and join in with that road there. Then we can have some... I'm just trying to think here. We can add some more customer parking in. There's a few blanks which I can go ahead and fill. So fill in you. The bus stops up here are actually getting used, which is good. And I definitely need to go ahead and add in some more staff parking, some more recycling, all that sort of stuff around here too. So if we come back along here, let's go ahead and build a road coming along here, and then another road coming along here. My builders are going to be busy for quite a while, if you cannot already tell. Then let's go ahead and start to add in some more customer parking. Don't know how much this will get used, because right now it's extremely far away from the mall itself, but it is still in walkable distance, and you can also get the bus as well. One thing I'm starting to notice is we're getting a little bit of frame drop. It's not OBS. I'm looking over FPS and it's OBS, and it's not OBS's fault, so it is something to do with the internal game, which, I mean, that's kind of half understandable. Right, so we're into our first full day of sales in this place here, and as we can see, things are moving not too badly. It looks like that we are seeming to be stocking the shelves at a good rate afterwards, which is good, and that's why we've got 3 cashiers in here. I don't know why some people come in and... oh, it's love hearts, it's not anger. Oh, that makes sense. Right, okay, I thought they were leaving angry if they were red in the face, so that's not good at all. Right, it looks like we do need more cashiers, though, that's the bottom line, but we seem to be going ahead and providing enough fish and meat in here. How are the needs doing? So fresh fish, it's not really updated yet, but we've definitely got a extremely large demand, which we should be able to go ahead and fill that a little bit better. So it's on display 23 and its demand is 127. Right, now I get you. Okay, yeah, right, we need... If it's going to be this way, then we just need so much more of everything. That's the thing, like so much more. I thought it was the rate you maybe go ahead and re-shelf it and then go ahead and do stuff, but yeah, we're going to have major problems then if that's the issue. So I've gone ahead and added in basically 8 staff on at all times, and we might actually go ahead and make this place 24/7. So what I need to do is I need to go ahead and finish off filling out these cabinets. I'm just going to do some more meat, fish, then meat. Then they need to have a better system for this menus, by the way, because when you're having to go ahead and do this for a lot of different shelves, fridges, or whatever it may be, it's such a complicated process, especially when this isn't too bad. I think there's a situation where there's a third nested menu, so you have to choose an option, then choose an option, then you get to what you want to do, which that's just like way too much hassle for me. Anyway, as we can see today, we are doing extremely well. There is, again, it's a little bit of supply problems, which this place isn't always that full, which is giving me the indication I need to make it larger actually, which again, I could do that no problem at all. That would take me not very long, and we still have the room. I still need to go ahead and decide really what I'm going to put into these individual shops, which again, I'm not really at all sure what I'm going to do, but for the time being, we're dealing with the queues much better. We should have 8 people on throughout the whole day, but there's 2 checkouts which are empty, so again, I'm not really at all sure what is really going on there. I think we need to go ahead and add in some more staff car parking at this side of the world, and that's something which I'll do very shortly. So let me go ahead and first of all add in some roadworks there. That's customer parking, which I do not want. Do not build road there. Then let's go ahead and add in some more customer parking here, and as we can see, it's getting used quite well. Then what I want to do is we're going to add in some car parking over here. Now this is going to be just for staff for the time being, because I'm not really at all sure how I actually want to do this properly. So we're going to leave a gap there in case we decide to build this road. Then we need a 1, 2, 3. So we're going to start off here, and I can have this intersect with this road here probably. So actually, you know what, we maybe are just going to go ahead and fill this whole area out, I think. We'll just have to see how things go. So as long as deliveries have priority, then the next thing's staff, they'll need to have the next priority. Then from then on, it needs to go ahead and be customer car parking. That's just really sort of the rules of the road. So let me go ahead and just fill some of this area out, and I'll get back to you in a second. So as you can see, that is all being built. So I've gone ahead and added in basically the first 3 road tiles of each individual row. I've gone ahead and did staff car parking, which makes a difference. And especially when we go ahead and expand into this area here, these 2 shops here, and then the area down the bottom, we're definitely going to need it, and we might need to go ahead and even do more. I'm really happy with how we've actually laid this out in terms of the delivery trucks. Delivery trucks get really good entrance. I might even need to go ahead and add in more. I mean, you can see the amount of delivery trucks. I never realised how short I was in delivery truck spaces, and it's good to see that most stock rooms are now much fuller. As we can see, these 2 are doing well. These 2 are not too bad. Then coming over to here, this is better. This is better. Then these 2 don't have them. So in general, things are not, they're good, that's the thing. Alright, so what we're going to do, ladies and gentlemen, is I'm going to wrap this episode up here. So, looking at fresh fish and fresh meat, things are, unfortunately, we have bridged the gap, but the problem is, I think we need to go ahead, and this is going to be the problem. The demand is 145 units, whereas on display we only have 25 units. So I'm going to give you all a choice, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to record the next episode without looking at the comments, but I will not record episode number 12. So we can go ahead and keep playing this for like 20-25 episodes, build massive superstores for individual items. For example, one which is just for fish and meats, which has 125 of these fridges. I could go ahead and do that. This whole central area here, that could be turned into just a fish and meat superstore. I could go ahead and do that, or would you like to see me go ahead and continue to build smaller stores like this and wrap the series up roughly at episode 12? It's really up to you. I do enjoy this game. And don't get me wrong, I could play it forever, but at the same time I realise that there's a stage where it gets extremely competitive and extremely just something needs to change, and I could see this, like the viewer you, just getting a little bit bored of the same thing over and over again, if you understand what I'm saying. Anyway, that is all for this episode, ladies and gentlemen, so thank you very much for watching. My name is ConflctNerd Callum, and I'm out.